peminatan epidemiologi, peminatan
Ladies and gentlemen, as we're about to begin, for the sake of a successful event, we appeal to all attendees for cooperation to turn off your mobile phone or any other device to silent mode to avoid interruption. Thank you for your kind cooperation and attention.
We would like to welcome Dr. Insinyur Iwan Taruna, Master of Engineering IPM, Director of University of Jember.
Ladies and gentlemen, before the events begin, please allow us to deliver a safety induction, which is a safety procedure for all of us. For the committee that is in charge, we invite.
All attendees to pay attention as we will present a safety induction, which outlines the safety procedure for all of us. We are currently on the 5th floor of the Soedjarwo building. This room has two main exits, located on the north and south sides, which can be used as evacuation routes in case of an emergency. Evacuation direction sign can be seen on the walls of the room. Restroom facilities are available on the left side of the north main exit and on the right side of the south main exit. In the event of an emergency, such as an earthquake or fire, please keep the following in mind. First, do not panic. Immediately exit the room by walking quickly but not running, while slightly bending your head forward. Use the exit on the north or south side and follow the designated evacuation route to a safe area. Remember, using the elevator is not recommended. Please use the stairs for evacuation. If a fire occurs and the source of the flames is small, anyone who is able should promptly operate the fire extinguisher to put out the fire. Fire extinguishers are available on the east and north side of the room, with a total of 2 units that can be used in an emergency. If smoke from the fire becomes thick and disrupts breathing, we recommend using a mask or a damp cloth placed over your nose. This will reduce the amount of smoke inhaled while breathing. If an earthquake occurs and you are trapped inside the building, stay calm and immediately find a sturdy shelter to protect yourself from potential debris. On condition allow, follow the evacuation instruction to leave the building and proceed orderly and calmly to the evacuation assembly point located to the east. Please adhere to the direction to ensure everyone's safety. Thank you for your attention to the safety induction.
First of all, we thank the Almighty God for His mercy and grace so that we can attend the event Public Health Agro-Coastal Community Conference 2024, Faculty of Public Health, University of Jember in a good condition.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, allow us to introduce ourselves. I am Muhammad Rafli Jatnika and my partner,
Putri Safina Dei,
as Master of Ceremony. The Honorable Rector of University of Jember, Dr. Insinyur Iwan Taruna, Master of Engineering IPM, the Honorable Dean of the Faculty of Public Health, University of Jember, Dr. Farida Wahyunityas, SKM MKes, along with its staff. The Honorable Speakers, Assistant Professor Anusurah, PhD, Associate Professor Dr. Samfros, Mr. Ray Francis Erana, Kurnia Ardiansyah Akbar, SKM MK3, PhD.
the honorable distinguished guests and delegates, Extemp Conference Committee, and our beloved participants who are here on Zoom. Ladies and gentlemen, going into the first agenda, that is opening, let's open this event by saying Bismillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. May this event be held with no obstacle from the beginning to the end. Amin, amin, ya rabbal alamin. The following agenda is performance by PHAC Faculty of Public Health, University of Jember. For the committee that's in charge, the time and the stage are yours.
national anthem, Indonesia Raya, the hymn of University of Jember, and march song of Faculty of Public Health. To the committee that is in charge, we invite.
The Rector of University of Jember, the Dean of the Faculty of Public Health, and the Dean Deputies and the audience are being asked to stand up.
the Rector of University of Jember, the Dean of the Faculty of Public Health, Dean Deputies, and the audience are pleased to be seated.
The following agenda is reporting speech. The chairman of the committee, Dr. Novia Lutfiatin, SKM MKes, will deliver the first speech. The time and stage is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable the Rector of the University of Jember, Dr. Insinyur Iwan Taruna, Master Engineering IPM, the Dean of Public Health Faculty, University of Jember, Dr. Farida Wahyuning Tias, SKM MKes, the Organizing Committee, our esteemed speakers, respected representative to Dean the Faculty of Medicine, Dean the Faculty of Pharmacy, Dean the Faculty of Nursing, Dean the Faculty of Dentistry, Head of the Jember District Health Office, Head of the Social Service Office, Head of the Women's Empowerment and Child Protection and Family Planning Service, Head of Dr. Subandi Regional Hospital, Head of the Nursing Program of Universitas Muhammadiyah Jember, Head of the Jember Polytechnic of Health, and to all participants and oral presenters, we deeply appreciate. Let us officially say welcome to our international conference on global awareness on environmental health. Your presence is our honor for us, and we deeply appreciate your active participation in this important event. This event is organized to provide a platform for discussion, knowledge sharing, and collaborative solutions on issues related to environmental health at both global and local levels. The theme is crucial as environmental health issues such as air pollution, waste management, and the impact of climate change are increasingly affecting our communities, including here in Indonesia. We are honored to have 4 speakers. They are Assistant Professor Anusura, PhD, from Ramkhamhaeng University, Thailand, Associate Professor Dr. Samfrus from University Malaysia, Sarawak, Malaysia, Mr. Ray Francis Irana from San Carlos University, Philippines, Mr. Kurnia Ardiansa Akbar, SKM MKKK PhD from the University of Jember, Indonesia. In addition, this event is attended by 200 participants from several countries and 20 oral presenters who will showcase their research. We want to express our deep gratitude to the organizing committee for their hard work in ensuring the success of this event, the support from the Management Board of the Faculty of Public Health and Jember University, Universitas Negeri Malang as our co-host, the support for our sponsor BTN, and all our partners who have collaborated to make this event a success. We know there may be shortcomings in implementing this event or aspects that might not meet expectation. For this, we sincerely apologize and hope for your understanding. In closing, we hope this event will bring significant benefits, not only in the academic sphere, but also in fostering collective awareness and action on environmental health issues. Thank you for your attention and participation. May this event run smoothly and provide valuable experience for all of us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We would like to say thank you.
The Dean of the Faculty of Public Health, University of Jember, Dr. Soedjarwo Universitas SKM MKes, will deliver the first welcoming speech. We look forward to your words of wisdom.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Rector of Jember University, distinguished Dean Faculty of Medicine, Dean Faculty of Dentistry, Dean Faculty of Nursing, and Dean Faculty of Pharmacy or representative, distinguished all the Vice Dean in Faculty of Public Health, distinguished keynote speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Samfros from UNIMAS Malaysia, Assistant Professor Anusurat PhD from PHAC University, Thailand, Mr. Ray Francis Erana from San Carlos University, Philippines, Assistant Professor Kurnia Ardiansah PhD from University of Jember, Indonesia, the distinguished stakeholder and our partners, respected faculty members, organizing committee, and participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and warm welcome to the third Public Health on Agro-Coastal Community International Conference. It's truly a honor for me to stand before you as we gather for this significant event under the theme Global Awareness on Environmental Health. This theme reflects the urgent need for collective action and innovative solutions to address the complex challenges posed by environmental health issues, particularly in agro-coastal communities. The presence of esteemed speakers from Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, and Indonesia underscore the global perspective we aim to foster. We are privileged to learn from their experiences as they bring valuable insight that will inspire and enrich our understanding of environmental health on both local and international scales. I extend the heartfelt gratitude to the Rector of University of Jember for your support and for officially opening this conference. Your presence demonstrates the university commitment to advancing knowledge and addressing real-world challenges in public health. I would also like to acknowledge the effort of the organizing committee, whose hard work and dedication had made this conference a reality. To all the participants, your enthusiasm and willingness to engage in meaningful discussion are what will make this event a success. This conference is more than just a gathering to mind. It is an opportunity to build network, exchange ideas, and initiate collaboration that can lead to impactful change. Together, let us work toward sustainable solutions that enhance the health and well-being to Agro-Coastal community and beyond. Once again, welcome to University of Jember and the third Public Health on Agro-Coastal Community International Conference. May this event be inspiring and fruitful experience for all of us. Thank you, and I wish you a productive and successful conference. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We would like to thank you.
The last welcoming speech by the Rector of University of Jember, along with the introduction and urgency of the activity as a solution to the challenges of the global awareness on environmental health. We kindly invite Dr. Insinyur Iwan Taruna, Master of Engineering IPM. We look forward to your words of wisdom.
Distinguished guests, I see my friend here, Bapak Purwahyudi and Ibu Yeni, both are my friend, both are very important person in their office. Honorable speakers, respected lecturers and researchers, esteemed participants, ladies and gentlemen, and all our colleagues. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning and welcome to the third International Conference on Public Health and Agro-Coastal Community that's held by the Faculty of Public Health, University of Jember. It is of course my great honor to address you today on behalf of the University of Jember. I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to all of you for joining us, whether in person and or virtually, as we come together to engage in critical discussion on public health and environmental sustainability. This year's theme about the global awareness on environmental health is both timely and urgent. As we face unprecedented environmental challenges, from climate change to pollution and biodiversity loss, the need for collective action and heightened global awareness has never been greater. The health of our communities, particularly those in agro-coastal regions, is inextricably linked to the health of the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, agro-coastal communities, like those in many parts in Indonesia, are particularly vulnerable to environmental changes. These communities depend on natural resources for their livelihoods. Yet they often experience the harshest impact of environmental degradation and climate-related health risks. Addressing these issues requires innovative, interdisciplinary approaches, as well as collaborative effort across sector and border. This morning, I praise the Faculty of Public Health, especially the Dean, Dr. Farida, and the organizing committee chairman, Dr. Novia, and of course with their teams. For organizing this important conference and for the commitment to advancing knowledge and solution in this fatal area. Your effort have created a platform where I think mostly here lecturers, students, researchers, policymakers, and practitioners can exchange ideas, share best practices, and forge partnerships that will drive progress in environmental health. And then to our distinguished speakers, as mentioned by the organizing committee chairman, there are Assistant Professor Anu Surat, PhD from Ramkemhaeng University, Thailand, and then Professor Dr. Samfros from Unimas Sarawak, Malaysia, and then Mr. Ray Francis Erana from San Carlos University of the Philippines, and the last I think is our colleges, Mr. Kunia Ardiansa Akbar, PhD. I think it is the new graduate from Thailand. That's very lucky for public health faculty then having a new PhD. Besides, I think Dr. Novia also just came from Undip, Semarang. Yeah, for them, we are deeply grateful for your contribution. Your insight and expertise will illuminate pathway to sustainable health solution and inspire us to take meaningful actions. And to all participants, I encourage you to take full advantage of this opportunity to learn, network, and collaborate. And of course, let us work together to promote global awareness and foster innovative strategies that will protect both human health and the environment for future generations. Finally, again, welcome to the University of Jember. I wish you all a productive and inspiring conference. If there should be any inconvenience during this conference, we apologize. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Please allow to the Rector of University of Jember, Dr. Insinyur Iwan Taruna, to remain in place. Please advocate the faculty of public health, the dean deputies, and the guests are invited to take a position on the stage to conduct a documentation session. Alright, before we moving on to the next agenda, we will do the documentation together. For the committee that is in charge, please arrange the position for the documentation. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Baik, izin. Gaya semangat Bapak Ibu. Baik. 1, 2, 3. Gaya unggul Bapak Ibu berikutnya. Baik. Izin 1, 2, 3. Mohon izin Bapak Ibu berikutnya kita foto bersama dengan para audiens. Silakan Bapak Ibu menghadap ke layar Bapak Ibu. Kepada para hadirin dimohon untuk berdiri, kita melakukan sesi dokumentasi bersama. Kepada panitia yang bertugas, dipersilahkan untuk mengambil posisi. Kepada para hadirin dapat merapat ke tengah. Baik, mohon izin menghitung dalam hitungan ketiga. Baik, dokumentasi kita mulai dalam hitungan ketiga, 1, 2, 3. Baik, gaya semangatnya Bapak Ibu dan para hadirin. Baik, dalam hitungan ketiga, 1, 2, 3. Berikutnya gaya unggul Bapak Ibu dan para hadirin. Dalam hitungan ketiga, 1, 2, 3.
Alright, for guests, we kindly invite you to leave the room if there are other concerns, or you can stay in place to follow International Season Conference. Once again, we would like to thank you to the Rector of University of Jember.
Our standing moderator will lead this session, but before that, allow me to read curriculum vitae of our moderator today. Alright, our standing moderator's name is Mrs. Erwin Nurifah, SOS MA PhD. You can contact her through the mobile number that has listed on the screen, and you can also contact her by email at erwinnur.fkm@unej.ac.id. Mrs. Erwin now working as Health Promotion and Behavior Science Public Health Study Program, Faculty of Public Health, Jember University. She holds a PhD in Social Science and Psychology from Victoria University, Australia, and has a Master in Medical Anthropology from the Universiteit van Amsterdam. Her professional experience include consulting on children's engagement in Jember and Desa Melesat program in Bondowoso district. She has conducted significant research on marginalized communities and the psychological impact of the pandemic on children. Mrs. Erwin has published extensively with 10 national and 7 international journal articles, as well as 15 book chapter and 6 intellectual property works. His community service focus on preventing child marriage and promoting healthy societies through various educational programs. All right, without further ado, Mrs. Erwin Nurifah, MA PhD, the time and stage is yours.
Okay. More fruitful than before ya, more informal than. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. 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 Okay, where is the speakers? It's already in Zoom, yeah? Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, distinguished speaker and honorable guests, and also all of participants who joining us both in person or online. Welcome to the Hybrid International Conference on Global Awareness on Environmental Health, organized by the Faculty of Public Health, University of Jember. I am Erwin Nurifah. I am very honored to stand before you as a moderator for today's session. And this conference reflects our shared commitment to addressing pressing environmental health and issues and finding sustainable solutions. Let us make this event a fruitful platform for learning, elaboration, and inspiring action. Okay, welcome, join Dr. Anasura. Yeah, good morning. I think it will be better for me to sit down here so I can interact with you. And we are very privileged to have two esteemed experts with us today. And before we begin, allow me to outline the structure of these sessions. Each speaker will have 20 minutes for their presentations. After both presentations, we will have a Q&A sessions. Participants, please feel free to submit your question, and you may chat via chat box for online attendees. And don't forget to write your name and for whom the question is for. And for those attending in person, later you may raise your hand. And let us keep our discussion focused, respectful, and engaging. And without further ado, allow me to introduce our distinguished speakers. Let us begin with our first speaker, Assistant Professor Anusura, PhD. Dr. Surah is distinguished academic from Ramkhamhaeng University. Am I right? The way how to pronounce? Yeah, okay. From Ramkhamhaeng University, Thailand, she has becoming a lecturer at the Faculty of Public Health, Ramkhamhaeng University, Thailand since 2014. She pursued her PhD at Chulalongkorn University and graduated in 2023. Her expertise lies in environmental health, particularly in studying the impact of pesticides exposure on vulnerable populations. Today, she will delve into the topic of pesticides exposure and neurobehavioral of children. And now, Dr. Surah, the floor is yours. Okay, you have 20 minutes to present your slide.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Before I start, first of all, good morning, everyone. Today, so thank you. I would like to say thank you for having me to share my experience with you all. And it's my honor to share my experience. But I want to apologize that I couldn't make it to be there with you all. But we can continue with online for today. And sorry. The topic that I want to share with you all is pesticide exposure and behavior of children.
Sorry that I will make it for the full screen. Did you see my full screen now? Can you see it? Okay, I think it's gonna work for now. Okay, we will start for now. Okay, let me share for the international pesticide use. This picture only showing the country that use over 20 million kilograms of pesticide annually through Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, and Ghana have seen a potential growth in pesticide use. Those countries start from a much lower base. And for agriculture in Thailand, Thailand is a country rich in natural resources and has long history of exporting agriculture products. Half of population in Thailand is in agricultural sector, and their mainly income to support their family also is earned from agricultural product. Since 50 years past, Thailand agricultural sector has shifted from labor to machine intensive farming practice, and it's around 65% of the country workforce is employed in agriculture, ranging from the traditional rice sector to export grain cultivation for products such as tropical fruit and cotton. And this one show agrochemical use in Thailand. When you see this picture show Thailand crop protection chemical pesticide market. When you see it, pesticide use in Thailand has risen rapidly due to an increase in pest crop. Pesticide intensive crops such as vegetable and fruit have most financial value add in Thailand, and pesticide usage has naturally grown as farmers have steadily transitioned from low value add to high value add crop production. And Thailand's country is increased its annual pesticide and commonly imported insecticide processed in organophosphate and pyrethroid. This is the data from Ministry of Agriculture in Thailand. And when we talk about the pesticide poisoning, I think everyone know about the poisoning of pesticide. It can affect to our body, include the acute poisoning and chronic poisoning too. For chronic toxicity may occur as a slowly progressive condition such as increased breathing difficulty or skin sensitization after repeated use of pesticide. Sometimes chronic toxicity may result in a disease such as cancer. And the effect of chronic pesticide poisoning include oncogenicity, carcinogenicity, mutagenicity, neurotoxicity, and reproductive effect. So many health effects from the pesticide exposure. And this slide show about the route of exposure. When you see it, pesticide exposure can occur through ingestion, dermal absorption, inhalation, and absorption through the eye. So many routes that the pesticide into our body. Exposure through ingestion usually due to carelessness. When you see the picture, I went to do for some research about this picture show about the farmer tobacco in some part of area in Thailand. And for the data is about the farmer can be directly exposed to pesticide, while their farm family can be indirectly exposed to the pesticide drip and take-home exposure. This raise concern about potential health risks, especially among children and adolescents living in agriculture community or area that they stay together with the family member who are highly susceptible to pesticide exposure and negative effect as a result of developmental, dietary, and psychological factor. So many problems that can happen when the family member or the farmer exposed to pesticide. And this one show about is some part of my study that I study with the pesticide exposure. For this paper, it show about the study of maternal exposure to organophosphate pesticide and newborn development in Thailand. And I do work with my teacher, my colleague like this. And when we study, we conduct with a longitudinal study, and the population that we conduct in the pregnant women without factor known is to impact neurodevelopment, including hypertension, diabetes, thalassemia, and HIV positive status. We include the participants The pregnant women age range between 20 to 35 years old, and baby are born full term is about more than 37 weeks at gestation, and baby are not distressed when they give birth. An instrument of our study, spot urine sample will collect at 28-week gestation, analyzed by gas chromatography mass spectrometry to determine the maternal metabolite level of organophosphate pesticide. And newborn development of the neonate were assessed by the pediatric dietitian at each hospital, and each neonate will be examined at 1 to 2 days using NBAS, and at 5 months of age, infant development was evaluated using Baylor test. And it's about our finding. A pilot study conducted in 3 provinces in Thailand, measure maternal urinary metabolite of OP pesticide in pregnant women at 8 months gestation and at birth. Within 3 days of birth, it's about 82 newborn underwent neurobehavioral testing using NBAS. And for the finding of us during pregnancy, it's about 61% of the participants reported that chemical insecticide were applied in their home. And of those reported being applicator of the insecticide, there were 27 participants who reported applying pesticide to crop during their pregnancy, when they're pregnant, but they still use pesticide. It's incredible situation in Thailand like this. Okay, and for why I cannot, okay. This slide show about this table show about the association of maternal urinary organophosphate metabolite and NBAS score for neonatal behavior. We found that increase of maternal urinary concentration of the total of all diactyl phosphate metabolite, or total DAP, were associated with the increase in the number of abnormal reflex in the newborn. It means that the pregnant women who exposed to the pesticide is affected to the abnormal of the neurobehavioral of their children when they're born. Okay, and next slide show that, and this one is another of our paper that we published too. This paper is about impact of prenatal organophosphate pesticide exposure in Thai infant neurodevelopment. When you see it, this slide show about the association between prenatal organophosphate exposure level and improvement in Baylor test is another test that we use to explore for the neurobehavioral of the children. This one show about the higher maternal urinary total DAP level in the 3rd trimester were associated significantly with reduced Baylor cognitive and motor composite score of the infant, and association between increased total DAP maternal level at week 28 of gestation and reduction of motor and composite score was significant. It's the same result that we see for pregnant women who exposed to the pesticide. It can affect to the motor and the motor of the infant too. Okay. For this picture show the relationship between prenatal urinary level of organophosphate pesticide and cognitive and motor composite score on the Baylor test at 5 months of age. Is relationship between the score, motor score of the infant and relationship between the maternal who exposed to pesticide too. So the conclusion of our result indicated a significant relationship between prenatal total DAP level and cognitive and motor performance, and is a significant relationship between prenatal total DAP level and composite motor score. Okay, so the finding of our result is include that prenatal and childhood exposure to the many pesticides widely used in Thailand are associated with development and behavioral disorder, including autism and attentional deficit during childhood. And longitudinal studies are needed to qualify the nature of extent of the neurobehavioral toxicity and associated with the prenatal exposure to organophosphates as well as to other chemical pesticides. And multiple reports now demonstrate that public health intervention to reduce prenatal pesticide exposure in the rural farming, in the environment as well as within at home are needed to prevent long-term sequelae from this exposure. And from the result that I show you about the exposure of pesticide of the pregnant women and effect to the infant neurobehavioral, for sustainability of administration and the continuity ongoing activity on occupational safety and health, this is the guideline that we want to continue for this work to solve the problem of the pesticide exposure of the agriculture in Thailand or in everywhere. For the first one, we have to promoting safety and health among working people, and then emphasizing on prevention in order to minimize the risk of exposure to hazardous working conditions and the occurrence of occupational and work-related disease. And then creating the network and participant of the activity under the government, and for building up preventive culture on occupational safety and health, and then develop the mechanism of the administration of occupational safety and health at all levels. If we can do the work like this, follow the 5 items like this, I believe that we can solve for the problem of the pesticide exposure in the farmer in every area that we can solve, and we can maintain the health status, for good health status of the farmer when they work in the farm. And so I think that's all for me about my topic, and this about my contact information. If you have any question, you want to ask me something for about the more detail, you can contact me via the address that I gave you in this slide. And before I finish, I want to acknowledgement to my workplace, the faculty of public health, Ramkhamhaeng University, and the farmer and participant who be the participant in my research. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Surah, for the enlightening presentations. The data and insight you have shared highlight an urgent need for action by promoting safety and health among working people, and also emphasizing on preventions in order to minimize the risk of exposure to hazardous working conditions and the occurrence of occupational and work-related disease. Once again, thank you, Dr. Surah, and give applause for Dr. Surah.
Thank you. ขอบคุณค่ะ
Yeah. For the participants, you might prepare your question, and you can submit your question later in the Q&A sessions. And next, it is my pleasure to introduce Associate Professor Dr. Samfrus J. from Faculty of Medicine and Health Science, University Malaysia Sarawak, UNIMAS Malaysia. Dr. Frost is renowned expert in the environmental and occupational health and safety research, environmental protection and health impact. He is also a public health medicine specialist and a registered health impact assessment subject specialist with the Department of Environment, Ministry of Environment and Water, Malaysia. He has extensive experience serving in the Ministry of Health Malaysia from 2010 and 2023. And apart from that, he is a member of various professional bodies, including the Malaysian Society for Environmental Epidemiology, the Academy of Medicine Malaysia, and a fellow of the Royal Society for Public Health, United Kingdom. He has contributed extensively to research and policy development in this field. And today, he will discuss about behavioral change for environmental sustainability. Dr. Frost? Okay, Dr. Frost, welcome, join in our conference, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Allow me to share my presentation. Okay, so good morning to distinguished delegates, academicians, fellow academicians, students, and international guests. It is an honor for me to be here today to discuss on a topic that touches every corner of our lives and the future of our planet, which is behavioral change for environmental sustainability. So in this presentation, we'll explore the challenges of our planet that our planet faces, the role of human behavior, which is ourselves, in this issue, and what are the strategies that can drive sustainable change and inspiring case studies from around the world. So in this slide, it outlines what we mean by environmental sustainability. At its core, it is about three things. Number one, resource management, which has something to do with using renewable resources responsibly, at the same time controlling pollution, and to ensure that we maintain the natural systems that support our life, which is the ecosystem, and of course, with balancing environment, social, and economic needs. These principles are not just abstract. They guide everything from policy to individual actions. So here's a roadmap of today's discussion. Number one, the current environmental challenges. Number two, the role of human behavior and how we contribute to this and solving the problem. And number three, strategies to promote behavioral change for sustainability. And I will show you some of the case studies demonstrating success in this field. So let us begin by addressing the elephant in the room, which is climate change. In 2023, the global average temperature has rose 1.45 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, which pushed us closer to irreversible tipping point. And some coastal cities has faced rising seas, extreme weathers such as flood, drought, wildfires. It become more frequent and more severe from time to time. These are not just statistics, but they affect our livelihood, health, and global stability. Thus, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change from time to time warned that immediate action is needed to mitigate these effects. So another pressing issue is the air quality. And the World Health Organization has reported that approximately 99% of us globally is breathing air exceeding the safe guideline, at least the minimum, the guidelines, okay, the minimum guidelines, which potentially can cause severe health effect like respiratory and cardiovascular diseases. The sources are well known, such as industrial emissions and motor vehicle exhaust. Addressing these challenges require global cooperations. So plastic pollution as well is choking our planet, with the average of 1 to 1.7 million tons of plastic entering oceans annually. and it disrupts the marine life and ecosystem. And as we know that water and forests are the lifelines of our planet, and pollution from agriculture and industry can endanger marine life and also our drinking supplies. And the loss of 10 million hectares globally annually as reported, it threatens the biodiversity and can contribute up to 11% of global emissions. So other consequences like the relentless increase of greenhouse gases is driving global warming and leading to the extreme climate events like what I mentioned just now. And also unsustainable fishing practice can also deplete fish stock, at the same time can damage the marine habitat and the coral reefs and so on. So when we talk about ecological footprint, I'm using United States as an example because it's one of the highest globally. So on average, it has a footprint of 16.2 metric ton reported in 2021. So this metric matters because it quantifies our individual and collective impact on the planet, showing where we can make better and more sustainable choice. Okay, now move on to the psychology of behavioral change. To bring about lasting change, we must understand the psychology behind behavior. So these are some of the theory, the existing theory, and the established theory out there. The theory of planned behavior, for instance, shows that attitude, norms, and perceived control influence our action. For example, in this theory, when people see the value in an action or observe others by doing it, they will feel equipped to do it themselves. Thus, change is more likely it can happen. And another theory is trans-theoretical model, which highlight change that happen in stages. For instance, like from contemplation, like thinking of doing it, to the sustained action. For example, like someone might start by learning about composting. Then slowly they will buy the compost material and finally integrate it into their daily routine. So the change has finally happened. So behavioral shift often require increasing awareness, aligning with values, and leveraging social norms. So in simple terms, changing behavior begins with raising awareness about the issues important. If we don't know about the issues, change is unlikely to happen. So next, the action should align with personal value. When people care about the family or the planet, they are more likely to act. And finally, peer influence does play a key role, whereby seeing others do good encourages similar action. So this new norm will affect customer demand, which will eventually impact the supply chain. And customer preferences will prompt suppliers to adopt a more sustainable practice. So how do we translate theory into action? I will be giving some examples of the strategies that has been implemented. So one of it is like the Earth Hours, education campaign on Earth Hours, which can inspire collective responsibility, whereby everyone will feel that they are somehow contributing something. It is more like a symbolic, actually, symbolic action, but its impact lies in sparking discussion and inspiring broader commitments to sustainability. And of course, policy interventions is important as well, such as the plastic bag bans, whereby Ireland, Republic of Ireland, they started the levy on plastic bag ban in 2002, which led to 90% reduction of plastic bag usage. This somehow caused ripple effect throughout the whole world, and all the countries start to adopt this similar practice. And of course, as a public health practitioner, we cannot avoid from discussing about community engagement. And community engagement empowers local solutions. For example, zero waste cities. It is about creating shared vision. It's not just an individual vision. It's a vision that we can share where individuals feel that their contribution matter. And of course, there are existing tools out there. I'm just sharing, for example, like which can contribute to innovative solution for sustainability. Apps like Julebug gamify sustainable behavior, making eco-friendly and actions more enjoyable. So by adding rewards and a sense of accomplishment, gamification can motivate individuals to adopt lasting and environmental friendly behavior. And of course, there are carbon tracking apps, which is available now. And when we talk about smart home technology, it optimizes the energy use and demonstrate how technology can support sustainability. By incorporating these technologies, homes and buildings become more energy efficient, demonstrating the potential of integrating technology into our effort for a more sustainable future. And community action platforms, when we talk about platform apps out there, there are also community action platforms where it can, which are game changer for local sustainability effort. Okay, this platform can show how technology and community, not just individual, can drive impactful environmental action. And of course, there are electric vehicles, renewable energy systems, which are game changer in reducing our environmental footprint. I mean, these are not cheap, but it's a good start. This innovation can show us that clean energy future is not just possible, but it's already happening. And in the call to action, our planet needs everyone to act, and here's how we can make a difference. Other than what I just mentioned just now, education, it is important for advocacy as well. Okay? We also must promote environmental protection policies and solutions and mobilize the community for environmental stewardship. And let us look at some inspiring example. So, Freiburg City in Germany, they are regarded as a leader in terms of renewable energy and green spaces. And from 1990 to 2021, they have reported 30% reduction in carbon emission. And the cleanup project, the Ocean Cleanup Project, is a non-profit organization which initiated in the Netherlands. So, I mean, annually they have reported that they managed to remove around 1 million kilograms of plastic from the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And of course, in my country, in the state of Penang, I mean, of all the states in Malaysia, they are regarded as the city with the highest recycling practice through implementation of separation of recyclable and organic waste. I mean, this requires strong commitment, not only from the community, from us, the public health practitioner, but also from the government as well. So Singapore, they are talking about the Green Plan 2030, whereby starting in 2021, they have targeted to plant trees, 1 million trees by 2030. This is part of the Nation Sustainable Development Agenda. And another example is in Rizhao City of China, which is regarded as the solar city. So around 99% of the household is using solar energy. This demonstrates that very strong policies, public support, and of course, policy won't work if we don't change the behavior. Can make renewable energy the standard of sustainable urban living. And another example in Bali, Indonesia, with the plastic bag ban and a single-use plastic bag ban, reduced the ocean waste. It is reported that it reduced ocean waste by 70% and has made significant strides in combating ocean pollution with its bold initiative. This success also shows how decisive action and community support can create meaningful change for our planet. And then lastly, in my home state of Sarawak, they have a goal of reducing, the government has a goal of reducing carbon emissions by 45% by the year of 2030. So currently we are prioritizing renewable energy, like for example, like hydroelectric, the introduction of a hydrogen bus, and so on, and smart city planning. In fact, today, the 1st of December, the city of Kuching has declared as a car-free zone morning. Okay? So certain parts of the in the busy city of Sarawak, they have blocked cars from coming in. So in conclusion, let's recap the key takeaway message from this presentation. Of course, behavioral change is at the heart of sustainability. Without behavioral change, even the best policies in the world or technology will fall short. Combining education, policy, and technology creates the foundation for impactful action that reaches individual, communities, and nations. And of course, together, individual and community hold the power to secure a sustainable future. So I would like to thank you for your time and attention.
Okay, give applause for Dr. Frost. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Frost, for the inspiring presentations and your discussion on fostering behavioral change to achieve environmental sustainability was both thought-provoking and actionable. And if I might highlight your presentations that pollution is give impact to the environment, and I highlight 3 points. The first one, that we need to educating people by sharing knowledge and support local sustainability initiative. And the second one, we urgent need to advocacy by influence policies for environmental protections and sustainability. And the third one, we need to mobilize by organizing community event for environmental stewardship. And thank you once again, Dr. Samfros J. And now we move to the Q&A sessions. I hope you already prepare your questions. Okay, I need to check here first in the Zoom. Okay, please, for the online participants, please write your question and don't forget to also write your name and the speaker that you want to ask for. And for the audience here, please raise your hands. Yeah? Yeah. One. The other one, please, from the back. Yeah, in the left side. Okay, in the back. There is 2. I think I need 2 more. Yeah, 3. Another one, please. Okay, for the first session, I think 3 questions is enough. Please mention your name and your institutions and for whom your question is for. So please.
Thank you. Good morning, Saudija, Professor Anusurah, and Dr. Sam Froze. I'm Anggun from the Program Master of Health Administration from Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Jember. I would like to ask the first question to the Professor Anusurah. It's nice to see you again after your guest lecture maybe last month in Jember. And from your study before, you use the sample of saliva of the tobacco farmer, and in this study, you use urine samples. What were your consideration of choosing the samples in this study, and maybe can you explain another factor excluding your exclusion criteria that may be giving the big impact to the result of the study? And then the question for the Dr. Sam Froze, in the practice of implementing environmental sustainability, what is the most effective and efficient way to change the behavior of the community? Because from what you explained before, the human behavior is the key role to implement the to applicate the environmental sustainability. Because in my hospital, we have the corporate that give us a program called ESG, Environmental Social Governance, and then we try to implement the sustainability, environmental sustainability, like changing the plastic bag to the paper bag, and then we're not using the bottle of water, we use glasses and etc. But it costs money. The start of everything is start money, because people there is not having any behavior to, or maybe awareness to the environmental sustainability. Maybe you can tell from your study what is the most effective and efficient to change the human behavior to support the environmental sustainability. Thank you. Good morning. Sawadee.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Anggun. And then we move to the second participants. Yeah. In the back. Yes, please. I hope Dr. Surah and Associate Professor Dr. Samfros can memorize the question. Okay, yes, please.
Cek.
Cek. Okay, thank you. Good morning, Professor Anu and Dr. Forse from UNIMAS. Okay, I am Globila Nurika from Faculty of Public Health, Universitas Jember. I have one question for the speaker from UNIMAS, Dr. Forse. Your presentation is very interesting about the behavior change for environmental health, environmental sustainability, right? I have read some papers before about the microplastic pollution caused by marine debris, and it's associated with climate change. I think this situation occur because community lack good practice for managing daily plastic waste. What is your opinion on this phenomenon, Doctor? Could you share with us the program of or effort undertaken by the Sarawak government to manage the impact of microplastic pollution on environment, and what the challenge they face for the microplastic impact? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bu Globila. And the third one? Yeah. Yes, please.
Good. Okay, thank you for the opportunity. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Al-Muzaffar, or commonly known as Alif. So I would like to ask this question for Professor Anusura. So my question is, there is a different types of formulation on pesticides. There are as like emulsificable concentrates or like granulates or dust or anything different pesticides. So I would like to ask what's the difference of formulation translates into a different impacts, especially on exposure for children and children's condition and maternal conditions. That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay, we already got many questions from 3 participants, and I will give opportunity for Dr. Anusura to answer those questions. Please, the floor is yours. Your mic is mute. Excuse me, Dr. Surah, your mic is mute. Could you please unmute your mic? Oh, Dr. Surah, Dr. Surah, could you please unmute?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you. I think the host will control it for me. Okay. Okay, good morning for the first one that who asking me about the question. Okay, I think for 2 questions, right, that you are asking me about. For the first question that you asked me why I use urine, right, to be the to measure the pesticide metabolite, right? And the question number 2 is how I control the factor, the other factor that is like confounding factor to the outcome of neurobehavioral of infant, right? The question is okay that I understand that you asking me. Okay, if like that, I will answer for the first question first. Why I use urine to be the to measure the pesticide metabolite, right? This is the part of the big project. We got the funding from UMass, University of Massachusetts, and then we collect so many samples that we use in this study. And this one that I show you about the urine that we use to be the biomarker that we measure the pesticide exposure from matter, because that we review literature about the metabolite of pesticide. Normally we use the urine to measure the metabolite of organophosphate or pesticide that we are looking for the effect of the infant when they give birth of the baby of them. And when we use the urine, and after that we measure by using for GC. So I think it's the best way that we looking for the metabolite of the urine. And then for the second question, right, that you asking me about how I control the other factor that interfere to our finding for the neurobehavioral of infant. That I mentioned, I think I mentioned before about another factor that we concerned about that it might be the confounding factor like the disease of the pregnant women, like hypertension or diabetes or infection disease like HIV infections like this, that we control the factor like this. And then we include the maternal who didn't get for some disease like that we think about this, it will be the confounding factor. And then for the infant, it's just we believe that the outcome that happen to the neurobehavioral of infant, we believe that is come from the exposure of pesticide of maternal, and then we control the factor only in the maternal side. Like this for the first one that's asking me about the question. Is it clear or not? I'm not sure. And for, I can, yeah.
The second one is, the third one, yeah, that Bu Globila asking about Sarawak government, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarawak government effort, and Alif asking about, I forgot to write.
Okay, I will address the second question, is it? Straight away.
Oh yeah. Okay. I think Doctor, you say yes, please.
I think the first question to me was what are the best strategy to implement behavioral change. So I think one of the examples now given by the was for example like in hospital settings and so on. Okay, all right. So in terms of behavioral change in different countries, different setting, even different agencies, there is no one size fit all kind of strategies, but of course we go back to the core core basic to the core of behavioral change. So one of it is, of course, incentives is important, and of course, policies. I will give uh, the example. I think similarly, the hospitals in Malaysia, in Sarawak as well, we have implemented sustainable active program as well. So, for instance, all the aircon, like all the air conditioners, all air conditioners, if they have to undergo repair, you have to change the aircon, you have to get the new air conditioner which is more with a better and smart technology, okay, which can reduce carbon emissions and so on. And of course, the ban of single plastic use in the workplace is being monitored, okay, by the organization. So, and also it is part of the key performance index as well. So it is not easy. Some of the effort can be costly, but however, there are some effort that can be very feasible. Like, for instance, I think 4 years ago, the Malaysian government, the Ministry of Health, has announced that any program related to Ministry of Health, if it involves catering, for example, they ban the use of plastic cup and plastic plates and so on. So we were required to bring our own plate. So these are some of the initiative that is slowly being implemented in the government setting. Same goes to the private setting. So their organization, they are responsible to monitor their own key performance index, which is related to sustainable change. So if they manage to implement it, for example, then they will receive some incentives and so on. I think that's all from me for my first question.
Okay, you may proceed to the next question, to answer the next question, please.
Okay, so the next question, I think related to the microplastics.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, it is an ongoing issue now. It present a significant challenge to not only to Sarawak, but in fact to the whole of Malaysia, whereby studies of water sampling that was conducted in some of the major key river basins in Sarawak and in Malaysia have identified the presence of microplastic pollutions. Okay, so this can contribute to exposure to microplastic can contribute to health risks, not only through food, and the air, but through the river as well. So what are the initiatives that was taken, like ongoing monitoring, and of course the ban of the single plastic use in supermarkets, in in commercial centers as well, and of course the international collaboration with the non-profit organization. For example, in 2022, Malaysia have signed a memorandum to cooperate with the ocean cleanup program, which dedicated to removing plastics from oceans and so on. So, and of course, policy development won't be effective without the commitment from both government and the community. I think that's all from me.
Yeah. Okay, is that understandable for the participant who asked the question? Yes. Okay. Dr. Surah, I think there is Alif, yeah, Alif who the last person who
Yeah.
asked. I think you haven't answered yet.
Yeah.
About, yeah.
I'm not sure about the question that he asked me, right? It's
Yeah.
about the what different condition of the maternal and infant, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, he will repeat his question.
Yeah.
Let me
yeah.
repeat this question.
Yes.
So, I want to ask about the different formulation of pesticides and the impact of the
Could you
condition.
please louder, speak louder, please? Yeah. Yeah, repeat again your question, please, and louder. Make it louder.
Yes. So, my question is, there are different formulation of pesticides, like emulsifiable concentrates, dust, or granulars.
Okay.
So I want to ask about the impact of the pesticides, of the different pesticides of formulation to the exposure, especially on maternal condition and children. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay,
thank you.
I understand. I got your point. Okay, thank you for your question. That you were asking me about the formulation, right, of the pesticide exposure of maternal and infant. In this study, we collect the urine of only maternal that we measure for the pesticide metabolite, but for the infant, we didn't measure anything about the pesticide. We just are looking for the neurobehavioral that we believe that is effect from the exposure of maternal. That you're concerned about this topic. Thank you that you're asking me about this topic. Yeah, it's so important that if we can measure both in the maternal side and infant side, it will be better, right? To conclude that is come from the effect for infant neurobehavioral is effect from the maternal exposure for sure, right? That we measure for both sample group, both maternal and infant. Thank you for your concern about this. But in this study, we conduct the pesticide metabolite only in maternal side, not in infant too.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's clear.
Is that clear? The answer?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Surah. Okay, please. We move to the second session for the Q&A question. Q&A session, please. Anyone for the participant? Maybe you want to ask a question. Please raise your hand. Okay. Yeah. In the front, and another one maybe in the right side. Is there anyone, please? In the back? Okay. Please, Bu Devi.
Okay. Thank you for the time for me to give some question for the two of the presentator. I think there are very interesting topic about the two of the speakers today, but I want to know about how about your idea, because if we check at the Indonesian plantation, especially there are a lot of children involved to the plantation, especially for the harvest time. We know that in Indonesia, I think the same with the Thailand and the Philippines, so there are a lot of tobacco plantation. And then we have some research. There are a lot of children involved at the tobacco plantation, and you said that one the side effect of the tobacco plantation, because there are some something like green tobacco sickness, maybe? Yes, because you said that one side of the absorption of the nicotine from the tobacco plantation, it means that there are a dermal absorption to the skin of the children. So, you know, at the Indonesia, some of the children choose skip from the school to include in the harvest time because they will get the some salary. One day they get especially 2,000 rupiahs. So this is very interesting for them. But how that the condition at the children of the tobacco plantation, especially in the Thailand and the Philippines, and how about your strategy? Because so there are a lot of challenges in our country to stop this activity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think this question is for both presenter, Bu Dewi. Yeah. So asking about how is the condition of child labor, yeah, in Thailand and Malaysia. It's not Philippines, Malaysia. Okay, please, Dr. Surah, you may answer the question first. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. Yeah, it's a good question, and that's previous time, right, that we talked together about this topic, about the effect from the tobacco plantation of farmer, and it's quite a wonder of me that I knew that from you. There's so many children in Indonesia that they went to the farm, tobacco farm with their parents. Even though in Thailand, I think that I went to the farm, or that I collect my data and I ask for the participant. No children in the farm. Yeah, no children, only the farmer, adolescent farmer. No children can go to the farm like Indonesian that you mentioned before. And if you ask about the strategy, right, to solve the problem, it's a big problem. Yeah, that's everyone know, right, for the harmful of the tobacco exposure, even green signet tobacco, or the effect that I think I present you in the previous time about some of my study that I measure the cement quality, right, is the effect from the tobacco exposure too. And it's so quite different between the Indonesian situation and Thai situation that I mentioned. For Thai people, we cannot see the children into the farm, but Indonesian, you told us that so many children into the farm, even they quit the school time, right, and went to the farm because they get for some money that they help parent or they hire something. Okay, for a strategy that I think, in my opinion, we in the academic career, right, is the thing that we can do. I think we just give them the knowledge about the harmful of the tobacco exposure. We can do like the academic way, just to be the one to give them knowledge. Maybe they don't know, they don't know the severity of when they expose to tobacco, even in children. In the school, I think the teacher don't concern about this topic, right? Because it's unbelievable that the children into the farm. Maybe the children don't know, even the parent, maybe they don't have any time to tell the children, or they want for more money if children help them, right? We just do like we give them knowledge, how to, if they cannot do that, like they quit the job because of they need money, right? We just give them the knowledge how they work, like in the safe part, because they have to expose direct to the tobacco, and then we give the knowledge how to prevent themselves from the expose or the get for some dangerous effect from the tobacco exposure. We give the knowledge to them, how to protect them, like they use like PPE or like this. And I think exactly they know. for the parent, they for sure, they know for sure how to protect them. They should use PPE, the glove, the plastic apron to protect them from exposure. But that I interviewed for some farmer, they said to me that they know well how to protect themselves, but it's not comfortable to work when they work. It's so hot. The climate is so hot. Even I think it's quite the same weather in Thai and Indonesia, right? It's so hot and it's not comfortable when they work, and then they don't use any PPE. But the thing that we need to do, just give them knowledge and tell them what the thing that they will get when they don't use any PPE, or how them protect the children from the exposure when they need to work with the parent. We just give them know how the right way to do when they go to work. In my opinion, I think we can do like this, and it's the best way to do. I think it depends on the policy, right? The policy on the legal. That's, I think, for everybody have to follow. If the government or the policy is strict like that, this, in my opinion, I think we just do like give them the knowledge how to work in the right way. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Surah. And the next is Dr. Frost. Please give your opinions. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I think most of it has been addressed by Dr. Anu just now. However, I just like to add on a little bit. So like for instance, in Malaysia, I think we have limited data on child labor, but based on some of our research previously, like for that we have conducted with, I think we have similarities, Malaysia and Indonesia, whereby we are the main exporters of palm oils. So based on our experience from conducting research in the palm oil plantation, I think the main challenge is not the child labor, but the out of school youth, okay, whereby they are in the secondary school levels and so on. So with poor educational background, and at the same time they are exposed to pesticide poisoning, like what I mentioned, has been mentioned by Dr. Anu just now, and also the non-communicable diseases due to tobacco consumption, alcohol consumption, and so on. So what is the government role here? In like Malaysia, of course, we have a very strict policies on child labor, following the legal framework of International Labour Organization. Okay, and of course, without with policies, with law, proper enforcement is required. Okay, and of course, international collaboration as well, like with UNICEF to prevent child labor. Okay, so I think these are some of the effort that has been continuously taken along the way to prevent not only to prevent child labor, but in terms of the danger in terms of environmental health. So I think that's all from me.
Thank you, Dr. Frost. Is there any question? Maybe one more? Okay. Maybe allow me to give you one question, maybe the last question. Just wonder about the best strategy, how to change these conditions, because I think Thailand and Malaysia and Indonesia more or less face a similar problem regarding the environmental problem. And what do you think? What is the best strategy? Maybe you can give us a short question, maybe. Please, Dr. First, give opinion. What is the best strategy? Because we sometimes like face-to-face between government, the political interest, or maybe economical interest. We want about the policy about pesticide, also about the tobacco, and we face-to-face between government and also the problem in the environment. So what do you think about the best strategy? Yeah, please, Dr. Frost, maybe you might give your opinion.
Thank you. So I think I will just thank you for the question. I would like to highlight back on my presentation just now. Of course, there are many types of strategies that we can apply. And from the governmental level, they have done their part. There's policies, there's law regulating this everything related to environmental health. But of course, law itself is not adequate if we don't individually our behavior we don't change. And when we talk about I think some of the successful strategies so far, I will echo back what I've mentioned just now, based on the case study. In changing behavior, it begins with raising awareness. But of course, raising awareness is not easy. It's not easy. It's easier said than done. And it is better if everything we do is incentivized. But incentive does not necessarily come from in the aspect of monetary. Okay, so like in Malaysia, I think some of it I didn't highlight here. Okay, but in some of the institution, just like the higher learning institution, in the government setting, in the local government setting, they have implemented whereby they have absorbed this sustainability effort as part of the key performance index of the organization. So if it's already part of the KPI, so everyone is not to say forced. I mean everyone have to do it, okay, in order for us to achieve the KPI, not only for the organization, but individually. So, and another thing that I want to highlight when we talk about behavioral change, the importance of digital literacy. So previously we used to talk about health literacy. Now, of course, digital literacy, and studies that we have done in the suburban and the urban area, when we try to create awareness, when we want to deliver messages, it is the most effective. Of course, we do it via digitally through our social medias and so on. So, for instance, because we are dealing with rabies outbreak now, one of the most effective way to distribute messages regarding proper waste management, because somehow improper waste management, it can lead to breedings. How do you want to prevent dogs, stray dogs, and so on? So this is one of the one approach that we took via digital, using digital tools, the technology, spread the message. So we did a simple study. We found out that those with Facebook account, they have better awareness compared to those without Facebook account. So as simple as that. So I think that's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Frost. And the last one is Dr. Surah. Please give your opinion about the best strategy that we can use. Yes, please.
I think Dr. Sam Frost is already answered for all. Okay, the best strategy, I think it's so many topics that we have to talk together. Even the government side, the policy that they have to create a policy that is appropriate to the people in that country. And in my opinion, I think that in the part of the people in the who are the worker, right, such as the farmer like this, when they work, I think that I mentioned for some policy or something that is not appropriate for them, if we talk together in both sides, in the who create the policy like government and who work in the area like the farmer or any person, I think we should create together for finally we get for the policy, and then the people can follow the policy too, like this. If the way like that, I think is the we can follow together both the government who create policy or the worker who can follow like this. Yeah, that's for me.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. I think we need the closing statement from both of you in short sentence maybe regarding this event or about this topic, yeah, global awareness on environmental health. Please give the first opportunity to Dr. Surah. You may give a closing statement. Yes, please.
Okay, I just want to thank you that having me, that I mentioned before that you give me opportunity to join together, and I'm so appreciated that I share experience to you and the another speaker, Dr. Sam Frost. That nice to meet you all, and if you have any question or anything to ask me that I already give me the information, you can ask me for, yeah, and just like this, and I'm happy to be here every time that I share experience with you. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Surah. And please, Dr. Frost, give us a closing statement.
Okay, I think first and foremost, I would like to thank the organizer for having me as part of the speakers for this event, and also thank you to Dr. Ayu, to the Anu, for the very informative topic. And I think mainly in terms of behavioral change, not only for environmental health, as I'm dealing with the communicable diseases as well. So to change your behavior because as a public health practitioner, we cannot run away from dealing with the public, the community. So it is very challenging. So in order to create a sustainable future, we must ensure that, if the policy is there, we must ensure that everyone adhere to the policy. How? By combining education and, of course, raising awareness. And we, as the public health practitioner ourselves, we need to advocate to the public. And I think together, every contribution from every individuals will hold the power to secure a sustainable future. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude these sessions, we have learned that environmental health is a critical global concern, from pollution to climate change, from pesticides, and the urgent need for behavioral change. And these challenges transcend borders, affecting communities, economies, and ecosystem. And I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished speakers, Assistant Prof. Anu Surah, PhD, and Associate Professor Dr. Sam Frost Ji, for their valuable contribution. And please give applause for two distinguished speakers. And also thank you to the organizing committee at the Faculty of Public Health, University of Jember, for hosting this impactful conference, and also to all participants. Thank you for your active engagement and commitment to advancing global awareness of environmental health. And give us applause here. And let us continue to collaborate and take meaningful steps toward creating a healthier, more sustainable future for all. And now, to proceed with our next agenda, I will hand the floor back to our Master of Ceremonies, Rafli and Savina. The time is yours. Yes.
Best gratitude has been said to splendid speaker, Assistant Professor Anu Surah, PhD, and Associate Professor Dr. Sam Frost, who have agreed to join this event. The certificate will be displayed on the screen. And best gratitude has been said to the moderator, Mrs. Erwin Nurifah, MA, PhD. Furthermore, there is certificate handed out by the chairman of the committee and the dean of the Faculty of Public Health, University of Jember. Without further ado, we invite Dr. Nurfia Lutfiatin, SKM MKes, and Dr. Farida Wahyuning Tias, SKM MKes to come on stage. All right. For Dr. Farida Hoyuningtyas, SKM MKes, please to give the certificate by online and giving the speech to the first speaker, Assistant Professor Anus Suraj, PhD.
Oke, baik. Baik. Ininya mana?
For the community, all right.
Yeah. Okay. I would say thank you to Dr. Anus Suraj for your contribution in this event. I hope we can increase our collaboration in the future for more intensive and excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fordin.
And for the second speaker,
Right. Before we moving on, there will be the documentation for the committee that in charge. Please arrange the position. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, the next is giving the certificate by online and giving the speech to the second speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Sam Prose.
yeah, I appreciate to Dr. Samfros. Thank you for your participation in this event. We hope we can accelerate our collaboration in the future and make more greater for our institution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Look forward to.
All right, there will be also the documentation for the committee that's in charge. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, for the next is Dr. Rovia Lutfiatin, SKM MKes. Please to give the certificate to the moderator. All right. Best gratitude has been said for the Dean of the Faculty of Public Health, the Chairman of the Committee, and moderator are pleased to return to their seats.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we move into the next presentation, there will be a song performance from Gita Pusaka, Faculty of Public Health, University of Jember. For the committee that is in charge, the time and stage is yours.
we gave it a try. Like a play it all on life. Maybe we just weren't right, but that's a lie. That's a lie, and we can't deny it as much as we want. But in time, our really will show. 'Cause sooner or later, we'll wonder why we gave up. The truth is, everyone knows. Almost is never enough. So close to being in love. If I would have known that you wanted me the way I wanted you, maybe we wouldn't be too us apart. But right here in each other's arms, and we almost knew what love was. But almost is never enough. If I could change the world overnight, there'd be no such thing as goodbye. You'll be standing right where you were. We get a chance with inside. Oh, try to deny as much as you want, but in time our feeling will show. 'Cause sooner or later we'll wonder why we gave up. Do this, everyone knows. Almost is never enough. So close to being in love. If I would have known that you wanted me the way I wanted you, maybe we wouldn't be too much apart. But right here in each other's arms, we almost knew what love was. Almost is never enough. Almost is never enough. Almost is never enough.
All right, back to the main agenda, the presentation by the not less remarkable speaker that another stunning moderator will lead this section. But before that, allow me to read curriculum vitae of our moderator today. Alright, our stunning moderator's name is Mr. Taufan Asrisyah OD SKM MKes. You can contact him through the mobile phone that has listed on the screen. You can contact him also by email at od.fkm@unet.ica.id. And Mr. Ode is now working as Health Promotion and Behavior Science Public Health Study Program, Faculty of Public Health, University of Jember. His competence is Health Promoter Researcher, and his professionals are 10 experience of community service in 2018 until 2022. Public scientific article in national journals and international proceedings. Mr. Ode also wrote and copyright several books in 2020 until 2021. All right, without further ado, Mr. Taufan Asrisyah Ode SKM MKes, the time and stage is yours.
Okay, thank you for a nice introduction for Master of Ceremony. I'm really impressed. And the Honorable for invited guests and all participants here. Good morning, everyone. And how are you? Fine, yeah. Although it's still raining in outside, but it doesn't reduce our spirit and enthusiasm to attend this conference. And once again, welcome to the third Public Health on Agro-Coastal Community International Conference 2024, hosted by Faculty of Public Health, University of Jember, on the title of this year, Global Awareness on Environmental Health. Ladies and gentlemen, the last few decades, we already know that environmental health is becoming an increasing pressing global issue worldwide. The growth of the world population, accompanied by rapid industrialization, has become a problem that has a direct impact on human health. This problem includes post-COVID-19 resilience, food security, and land degradation, climate change, pollution, and of course, communicable disease transmission. And we already know that public health is one indicator of the status, life, quality of human life. And in rural communities, those living in agriculture, plantation, coastal area, based on our vision and mission, Agro-Coastal community, they have a own specific cultural characteristic, custom or other uniqueness that can be risk factor for health. And of course, it at the same time can also be potential solution to health problem. And of course, based on this problem, that's why environmental health is becoming a concern for the entire global community. Ladies and gentlemen, for this session, we will be divided by three parts. The first part is the presentation of our distinguished speaker, and the second one is discussion, and the last one is the closing statement of our speaker. And we already know that we have two excellent speakers of this session. Committee maybe can help me to show the curriculum vitae of our first speaker. Sorry, I looking for the file because I didn't see. Okay, our first speaker is Mr. Ray Francis M. Erana. I hope I'm not wrong to spell it or mention it. He is OIC department head of the Nutrition and Dietetics, University of San Carlos, and his competency are competent and passionate nutritionists and dietitians. We can see in screen his educational background, his primary and secondary education. I'm sorry and apologize if I wrong, yeah, Mr. Okay, from Colegio de la Inmaculada Conception, Mandau Tipolo, Mandau City, Cebu, 2011 to 2015, and his tertiary education, a Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics, University of San Carlos, Talamban Campus, 2015 to 2018. Work experience background, he is assistant instructor, Department of Nutrition and Dietetics, University of San Carlos, August 2021 to present. And the last one, he is a clinical dietetics hospital internship coordinator, Department of Nutrition and Dietetics, University of San Carlos, August 2021 to present. I think that's enough for introducing our first speaker, and let's greet our first speaker. Hello, Mr. Ray.
Hello.
Can you hear
morning. Us? Yes. Am I audible?
Committee, the sound.
Am I audible?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you for that introduction, sir. Can I be heard to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Shall I proceed with the presentation?
Maybe wait a minute, sir. We
Okay.
start to introduce our next speaker. How do you see it right now? What time in Philippines right now?
In the Philippines, it's currently 11:46. We are 1 hour
11:46.
ahead.
Oh yeah, it's same yeah with us in Jember University. Okay, how about the current situation in Philippines, sir?
It is cloudy, but it's not raining.
Oh yeah, same with Jember too. How about we hear about the political issue, but I think it's not necessary to discuss here. But it make us attention about that. I hope your country will be safe. Okay, Mr. Ray, thank you. We're really honored to have you here with this session. And wait a minute, before that, we introduce our second speaker. Our second speaker is, okay, maybe committee will. Okay, he is has a nice smile. Okay, our second speaker is Mr. Kurnia Ardiansyah Akbar, SKM MKK PhD. He is a fresh doctoral, right? Welcome to our campus again. Welcome to the jungle. Okay, his work is assistant professor, environment and occupational health department, public health faculty, Jember University. He is, of course, a lecturer in safety and K3 yeah, department in Jember University. His competency is environment and occupational health specialist. Okay, here are Mr. Kurnia educational background, Doctor of Environment Occupational Health, Environment Occupational Health 2021, and Master of Occupational Health, Erlangga University 2013, and Bachelor Environment Occupational Health, Jember University 2011. And here are Mr. Kurnia research experience, such as climate change impact to the children, study in Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia 2024, pneumonia in children, dengue fever, malaria, and chikungunya before and during the COVID-19 pandemic, and observation from a climate change, environmental, and epidemiological perspective in Indonesia. Okay, here are publication. I think I try to Okay. Okay. His publication are such as disiarkan, the association between soil transmitted helminth (STH) and malaria infection among rural communities in Sarawak, co-researcher 2023 until 2026 as a mentor grant. The second one is breeding in the haze, a cross-sectional study on Sarawak communities' health behaviors as a head on project leader 2024 to 2026, and occurrence of a pesticide at gazette water catchment areas in Kuching, Sarawak as a co-researcher 2024 until 2026, and he already has many publications, about 20 journals from 2018 to 2024. I think that's enough for our second speaker, curriculum vitae. And without further ado, let's give applause for our second speaker, Mr. Kurnia. Yes, you can join with me in the stage. Thank you, sir. Please sit down. Take a seat. Okay. How are you, sir?
Everything is perfect. Yeah.
Everything is perfect. I think that's the key. Yeah. Everything is perfect. How about the education experience in Thailand? Maybe can give a motivation for our student.
Yeah, actually.
And of course with me, to me.
Good news or the bad news one?
Oh, there are bad
yeah,
one.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I think that
of
is
course.
necessary to publish here.
The good news is the vibes when we study in abroad is quite good. Discussion, climb, something like that. And then the professor is open-minded with us, so we can talk each other, discuss every day, whatever we want. Yeah, it's quite good.
Okay.
If I compare with Indonesia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And the bad news.
Okay.
Is very exhausted.
Very exhausted. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, thank you for your information, and I hope it can give a motivation for our student, of course, or some of our lecturer or college. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Once again, thank you to attend here to join us in this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker, maybe we have to move because we don't have enough time. We have to move to our main session. It is the presentation for our first speaker. Mr. Ray will talk about sustainable and safe food system for boosting health and nutrition. Without further ado, let me ask to Mr. Ray, you can deliver your presentation about 20 minutes. Time is yours, Mr.
Okay, thank you so much. I will share my screen for a while. Can you now see my screen?
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. So, I would like to reintroduce myself again. I am Ray Francis Serrana. I am currently the Department Chair of the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics in University of San Carlos at Cebu, Philippines. So I will be talking about sustainable and safe food systems for boosting health and nutrition. So I currently have a background on nutrition and clinical dietetics. But when we look into the science of food, there are a lot of things that we need to consider on how food is being delivered and how food is being perceived. So these are the topics of my presentation. So we'll be talking about food system, we'll be talking about sustainable food system, sustainable agriculture, food safety, and its impact on health and nutrition. So with this, let's start with what is food system. So when we talk about food system is a complex web of activities involving production, processing, transport, and consumption. So when we talk about production, it includes farming, fishing, aquaculture, and other methods of growing or raising food. So when we talk about processing, it converts raw food materials into finished products, like from wheat to bread, or from milk to cheese. Then we talk about distribution or transport. It moves from food producers to consumers through wholesalers, retailers, and markets. Then, on the fourth stage, the consumption, it's how and what people eat, influenced by culture, accessibility, affordability, and preferences. Then, within the food system, there are also issues and key elements that would influence the food system. Number one of which is the environment. So environment, it involves natural resources and biodiversity of essential for food production. Challenges would include climate change, deforestation, and resource depletion. So one example of which, if we can look into the news, so previous months, Philippines has been devastated with multiple typhoons or even super typhoons. Every week there is a typhoon or some weather disturbances that would enter our country. So this would greatly affect food production and agriculture as well. Next, another key element that would affect food system is the economy. Global and local markets, trade policies, price dynamics that shape food availability and access. Then another key element is society. Dietary traditions, health trends, community food practices. Inequalities in food access can result in hunger or even with obesity. Then another thing is on policy and governance. Food security, safety regulations, and subsidies affect production and consumption. So this is an overview of what food system is. Let's proceed. Let's have a very common example. Bread is considered a universal food. So when we talk or when we deal with bread, there are several ingredients like water, salt, oil, sugar, yeast, and the most important ingredient of all is flour. So let's have an example of what food system is on the eyes or on the perspective of a bread and specifically the flour. So for flour, the food system is a complex of activities as mentioned earlier, from production, processing, transport, and consumption. Let's say for an example, the production of flour. The production of flour is a crucial part of the food system, particularly within the grain processing sector. Flour is derived primarily from cereal grains, with wheat being the most common source. So the most common source is wheat. So it starts with agricultural production. Farmers cultivate cereal grains such as wheat, maize, rye, or barley depending on the type of flour desired. Wheat is the most common grain used for flour. That's for production. So there is a production of flour from wheat or other grains. Then it is being stored and transported. So grains are cleaned to remove debris and stored in silos or warehouse to prevent spoilage. Proper moisture control is crucial to avoid fungal contamination. Then the flour or the grain itself is being milled, which is the milling process. So grains are cleaned to remove dirt, stones, and impurities. Then the grain is crushed between rollers to separate the endosperm from the bran and the germ. That is how flour is being made. Then, when flour is in its form already, that is being packaged and distributed. Flour is packaged into bags of various sizes, from small consumer packs to large sacks for industrial use. And then this flour is then used to be made into bread, or it can be made into different pastries. So on and so forth. So with this, we can see an example of flour that can be made into a bread, where bread is the end product which can be consumed by the population, so that it would feed or it would increase the intake of the individual because of the consumption of bread. So that is one of the example of flour that is used or that is an ingredient of bread, and bread is the consumed product. So when we deal about sustainable food system, so sustainable food system is a food system that delivers food security and nutrition for all in such a way that the economic, social, environmental basis to generate food security and nutrition for future generations are not compromised. So when we talk about economic viability, it involves ensuring that farmers and workers earn fair wages and have access to stable markets. For local economies as well, strengthening local food systems to reduce dependency on global supply chains and support small-scale producers, then streamlining processes to lower costs and environmental impacts. So when we talk about environmental sustainability, it involves minimizing water, energy, and land use in food production, supporting diverse ecosystems by reducing monoculture farming and conserving habitats, and for climate action, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, promoting carbon sequestration through practices like agroforestry and adapting to climate change. For social sustainability, it has an impact on making nutritious and culturally appropriate food available and affordable for all. For public health, encouraging diets that promote human health and reduce the burden of diet-related diseases like obesity and malnutrition. So with this, these are the different concepts of what makes the food system sustainable. So principles of a sustainable food systems would include resiliency, diversity, and circular economy. So it means that we need to be adaptable to shocks like climate change, pandemics, economic disruptions. Diversity involves encouraging diverse crops, and circular economy is using resources efficiently and recycling byproducts. This is the concept by which we make our food system sustainable. So what are the different challenges in achieving the sustainability in food system? So the food system, therefore, includes not only the basic elements of how we get our food from farm to fork, but also of all the processes and infrastructure involved in feeding a population, meaning it can coexist into the different systems of farming, social systems, energy systems, agricultural systems, marketing, financing, policy, culinary, and economic systems. So these food systems should coexist within the different systems within our society. And then these challenges would occur because of economic barriers, policy gaps, cultural preferences, and global inequalities. So it would relate to access to resource, knowledge, and technology as well. So when we talk about food systems, it's not actually as easy as it sounds, because we need to put in mind that there are a lot of systems in place for food systems to occur. Food system, which includes, again, the production, the processing, the transport, and the consumption of the food. So how can we relate these food systems into sustainable agriculture? So sustainable agriculture practices are intended to protect the environment, expand the Earth's natural resource base, and maintain and improve soil fertility. So based on a multi-pronged goal, sustainable agriculture seeks to, number one, increase profitable farm income. Second is to promote environmental stewardship. Third is to enhance quality of life for farm families and communities. And lastly, it is to increase production for human food and fiber needs. This is from USDA Institute of Food and Agriculture. So what are the different practices in sustainable agriculture? One of which is regenerative agriculture. Regenerative agriculture is focusing on restoring soil health and biodiversity. It includes practices like rotational grazing and minimal soil disturbance. Another example is integrated pest management. It combines biological, cultural, physical, and chemical tools to manage pest sustainability. Another example is mentioned earlier is agroforestry. So agroforestry incorporates trees and shrubs into farming systems to enhance biodiversity and carbon storage. And another is the use of technology, like precision agriculture. It uses technology to optimize resource use and reduce waste in farming. So when we talk about sustainable agriculture, it's not just the end product itself from the harvest that we get from agriculture or from the practice itself. It's about how we empower the farmers, the people involved in the production, and how to increase the production of human food and the nutrient needs of the different individuals. So what are the benefits of sustainable agriculture? Its benefits are, again, its benefits in environmental, economic, and social. In environmental, it conserves natural resources like water and soil. And it also reduces pollution from synthetic inputs because you are using already organic substances, so synthetic inputs are minimized. Enhances resilience to climate change as well. Economic impact, it increased long-term profitability by lowering input costs. And for social impact, it improves food security and nutrition. It fosters community engagement and education when we talk about sustainable agriculture. So this is a diagram that would relate to sustainability in food systems. So again, these are the different impacts. It could impact economically, socially, and environmentally. So in environmental impacts, it reduces carbon footprint, water footprint, biodiversity, it increases biodiversity, and it also decreases toxicity. So it works hand in hand so that there would be inclusive growth, green growth, and eco-social progress. This would encompass the sustainability of food systems. This is adopted from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Next of which is food system development paradigm. So to simplify this, sustainable food systems, these are engines of growth, create value added that has 5 components. That the components are salaries to workers, return on assets or profits to entrepreneurs and asset owners. Then you also have tax revenues to the government, benefits to consumers, and impacts on the social, cultural, and natural environment. So these value-added sets in motion 4 feedback loops that relate to economic and social environmental sustainability, and it will directly impact poverty, hunger, and nutrition. Poverty, hunger, and nutrition. So the 4 feedback loops are investment loop, driven by reinvested profits and savings, a multiplier loop, driven by the spending of increased worker income, and a progress loop driven by public expenditure on social, cultural, and natural environments, and vice versa. So it would create both a negative or a positive, but then it would, the more positive they are more sustainable, the more sustainable the food system will be. So again, this would relate to the different variables when we talk about sustainable food system. So to simplify all of these things, so the food system itself is driven by environmental, socioeconomic, and natural drivers, which affects the food system, and its outcome would be, it also affects environmental welfare, social welfare, and food security. So again, these are the outcomes, and these are driven or caused by these factors and how it affects the food system. So with this, how do we have already discussed or tackled food systems. So how do we put that into practice? So food safety in practice. So we have number 1 is to prevent contamination. Number 2 is to maintain proper hygiene. Number 3 is to control time and temperature. Number 4 is to use safe water and ingredients. And number 5 is to practice cross-contamination prevention. So When we talk about food security and nutrition, based on the 1996 World Food Summit, food security is defined when all people at all times have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. So food security involves four things: that's availability, accessibility, utilization, and the stability. So when there is food security, it directly impacts on public health. So public health providers across the spectrum are realizing that treating food insecurity and poor nutrition as a health issue can lead to better health outcomes for patients, improvements in community health, and cost savings. So when we talk about nutrition impact on public health, positive impacts of good nutrition would include prevention of malnutrition. Malnutrition would involve undernutrition, overnutrition, and the different nutrient deficiencies. It can also lead into disease prevention, like chronic diseases and infections, and it would also enhance lifespan and quality of life of the different individuals. And this would also impact maternal and infant health. Why is maternal and infant health important? It's because a lot of the issues regarding the nutrition situation starts in the 1,000 days of life. 1,000 days of life that involves from conception of the infant down to the first 2 years. It's very crucial. It's because the development of the individual relies on the first 1,000 days. So that is how nutrition would impact public health. Lastly, so what are we going to do forward? So ways to move forward regarding food systems, regarding sustainable food systems, regarding safe and sustainable food systems, we need to train firstly our farmers. So how do we do that? We train our farmers with good agricultural practices, post-harvest management, and not just that, we also teach them business and marketing skills so that they also make a living out of agriculture, out of the products that they have made. Then another way for us to move forward is to source food locally. When we source food locally, again, we are not relying on the global market. So we empower our locally produced products. We empower the farmers who are producing the locally produced products. So with this, we generate profit within our system, within our society. Another is fortification. So when we address nutrient deficiencies, not all nutrients could be obtained from a single product. So we need to fortify, we need to increase the bioavailability of the nutrients found in different products. So when we talk about fortification, it's adding nutrients to a product so that essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients could be accessible to the community. Another thing is for us to reduce food waste. Food waste, not just in us as a consumer, but also the different product from production to the consumers and to the environment as well. So again, it impacts a lot. So number one, or we should always include reduction of food waste, not just on the consumer level, but also on the production level. Another thing is to produce sustainable and nutritious food. So when we talk about food systems, it should be a perfect balance. So we are dealing with a triple burden of malnutrition, which includes over, under, and nutrient deficiencies. So when we cover undernutrition, we need to produce sustainable nutritious food as well. When we talk about overnutrition, it's also about the accessibility of nutritious food and education of the individuals. And then for nutrient deficiencies, this would be targeted when we also produce sustainable and nutritious food. Lastly, as a registered nutritionist dietitian myself, one of which for us to increase productivity, one of which for us to target public health, to target the nutrition situation, we need to increase awareness on proper diet and food intake. So education should come hand in hand with the different systems in place so that on the consumer level, they would be aware of what to consume, of what to buy, and what to take for an individual to become healthy. Again, I am Ray Francis Arana. I am a registered nutritionist dietitian, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you
These
so
are
much
my
for
references, and thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for Mr. Ray. Give applause for Mr. Ray. Thank you for the excellent presentation. From the presentation, we already know about the concept of the sustainable food system. Yeah, Mr. Ray has just before talking about the food system itself, sustainable food system. Yeah, the key is we can make a guarantee for the future, and it are not compromise. Yeah. And there are some strategy to make the sustainable food system, such as train our farmers, fortification, reduce food waste. Yeah, I think it's really hard in our country. Yeah, maybe we can. I think all audience or all participants have a question. Maybe how about the implementation of the sustainable food system in Indonesia? I think it's really interesting to discuss. But I think before discussion, Mr. Ray, we have to move to another speaker, and we hope you can wait for some minutes, sir. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have to move to our second speaker. Our second speaker, Mr. Kurnia, will talk about climate change and dengue fever, a 14-year study of mortality trends during 2010 to 2023 in Indonesia. I think, Mr. Kurnia, it's your time to deliver your presentation, about 20 minutes, please.
Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Morning, yeah. First of all, I would like to thank you to all the committee, dean, and the moderator that already inviting me to be the speaker in this event, and also for the distinguished speaker, another speaker today. And today I will present my latest research result about climate change affect public health sector. So my research title is Climate Change and Dengue Fever, 14 years study of mortality trends during 2010 until 2023 in Indonesia. So as my background, since dengue fever is a significant public health concern in Indonesia until now, and as I remember, in March or April in 2024, Ministry of Health, Republic of Indonesia, released the data that until March 2024, the mortality rate of dengue fever in Indonesia doubling than previous years in the same period. So it's hard for us to know that. And in the other hand, I look forward to the climate change. Indonesia is one of the countries that most heavily affected by global climate change. And I try to make it more clear about that. So I use a satellite, temperature satellite, and I downloaded the temperature satellite, how our country, not our country, but all the country across the equator line, or in Indonesia we call it Khatulistiwa. We can see in this figure, the red one, all the red zone is the country that affected most by the global climate change. And it included Indonesia. So it will increase the challenge of managing not only the dengue fever, but also all the vector-borne disease. The problem is, in Indonesia, we don't have any long-term study about vector-borne disease, especially in this study is dengue fever. So I try to make it happen. Maybe we can see that a few study about dengue fever, just only 5 years, 6 years, something like that. But if we want to know more than 10 years, it's hard to get in the internet. So I try to make it happen, and then I want to know what happened with the global climate change in Indonesia, in our country. So that's why my research objective in this study is to investigating the association between dengue fever cases, mortality cases in how to say associated with the climate change. In this study, I only use two kind of variable. The first one is rainfall, and the second one is temperature from Indonesia since 2010 until 2023. And this is my methodology. I use retrospective longitudinal study and start from 2010 until 2023. So in total is around 14 years. And about data collection, I use secondary data. All the data that I got is only secondary data. Data about dengue fever and cases and mortality is collected by using annual Indonesia Health Profile, published every year, published by Ministry of Health of Indonesia, and about temperature, annual temperature, and rainfall, annual rainfall data. I asked to the Indonesian Ministry Meteorology, Climatology, and Geophysics Agency in Indonesia. We call it BMKG. So the data came from around 112 stations across the Indonesian country. And I already passed about ethical clearance before I start this study, and I use linear regression for this study. Okay, jump to the result part. So we can see that the temperature in this area, in this graph, is quite fluctuative. So we can only know that the coolest condition in Indonesia is in 2011, this one, and then the hottest one is in 2016 and 2023. So last year actually is the hottest one in Indonesia. And about rainfall, rainfall in Indonesia, annual rainfall, is slightly decreased every year. Even sometimes in some years there is increasing, but the trend is decrease. And the drying one is last year's. So last year, 2023, is the most dry season in Indonesia, and then the hottest season in Indonesia too, in the same period. And about the dengue fever cases and mortality from the blue graph, yeah, we can know that mostly when the dengue fever cases increasing, it will may increasing along with the mortality cases in Indonesia. So I will discuss more, elaborate more in the discussion part. So when I want to wrap up all the variable into one graph, I just using SPSS tools, so I can wrap up for variable all the variable independent and dependent variable into the one graph. So the graph is like that. We can see how the trend, the temperature, rainfall, and dengue fever cases and mortality. So we can see what happened in every years and every event. And then the top table is about variable minimum, maximum, and median, also standard deviation. But the important one is the regression table, the blue table. From that table, we can see that annual temperature and dengue fever cases are significant associated with the mortality cases caused by dengue fever. Mortality, yeah. And however, in the study, rainfall is not found associated with the mortality rate by caused by dengue fever. So here are the discussion about my discussion. Since I only use a secondary data, I tried to make a literature review with my team, and then I wrap up several theory report from Ministry of Health about the dengue fever every year. So it's open data access, so all the participants can access it right now, everywhere. So this is my discussion part. So if about rainfall is not associated with the mortality rate caused by dengue fever, why? Because we found that in every report, especially in specific province, I wanna talk about this, but in this forum. But if you wanna know more about what province that I mean, you can text me or you can email me. Yeah, because it's it's quite sensitive. Yeah. So in Indonesia, we have like a specific behavior in several provinces. They harvesting the rainfall water by using open reservoir, something like this. So it's quite good. It's good idea, especially in the province that very hard to get the clean water access. But the problem is, if the dry season is come, and then the people who harvesting previously by using open reservoir not slightly close, not tightly close the open reservoir, it will be a problem. Because if the open reservoir is not close enough, it will be a favorite place to breeding of Aedes mosquitoes. So that's why the rainfall is not associated in this study. And then the second one is there is an association between temperature and dengue fever mortality. We have two kind of reason for discussing this issue. The first one, we found that there is a lot of report from our Ministry of Public Health report that people who got dengue fever cases, patient, I think, already have dehydration at the same time because of long dry season and high temperature in Indonesia. So if it combine it into one patient, it may increasing the severity of the patient. So if the severity of dengue fever increase, it may lead the mortality cases in Indonesia. And the second one, this is our hypothesis. Actually, right now, until 2025, we had already granted by Bonn University in Germany about how we looking for the life cycle of Aedes mosquitoes. So our hypothesis is commonly Aedes mosquitoes have a life cycle 10 until 12 days from egg to adult mosquitoes. But we believe that the life cycle is more shortened. So it's not more than 10 days. So I hope we can publish it in next year about this funding, our funding. Yeah, that's why there is a lot of disease transmission, because the life cycle of the vector, we know that dengue fever is vector-borne disease, so the vector is quite good to breeding and have a short life cycle. Yeah. And the last one, we find that there is an association between cases and dengue fever cases and dengue fever mortality in Indonesia. From the report of Indonesia, Ministry of Health of Indonesia mentioned that in Indonesia we call it KLB, but we usually use outbreak. Yeah. When the dengue fever outbreak come, sometimes in several provinces, the healthcare facility is not quite good to handle that. Yeah. Overcapacity, we can say that, overcapacity about the dengue fever patient. So it may delay the treatment, insufficient medical supply, and it will increasing the probability of mortality rate among the dengue fever cases in Indonesia, especially in vulnerable groups such as children and elderly people more than 60 years old. And here's our conclusion in this study. So our findings say that public health sector cannot be done. The problem cannot be done by public health sector only, but we have to know to increase our knowledge about another sector. One of them is climate change. And then from the distinguished speaker, previous speaker said that environment. Yeah, I agree with that, because here is my conclusion too. And from this research, we know that temperature is very significant in the study to affect mortality rate in Indonesia caused by dengue fever. And here is my limitation, since I use only secondary data for this study. It may bias in this study. Yeah, I have to speak about that. So since I don't know how to collect the data, and we can control it, how the people collect the data from every province, every city in Indonesia. But we believe that this data, all the data that I got, came from the best one, Ministry of Health. So I believe that Ministry of Health already have a SOP, a standard operational procedure for the surveillance and something like that. So yeah, I think the limitation is quite low. And then about recommendation, our recommendation for this from this study, we have to addressing more about indirect effect of climate change, such as dehydration due to the high temperature and local water management practices. Yeah, so we have to increasing the good behavior among our population, and implementing comprehensive strategy to solve this problem, not only focusing in the health promotion, something like that, but we have to move forward, look at our environment, look at the global climate change right now. So we have a lot of problems. So we have to think comprehensively to solve this problem. And the last one is about further research is needed, because there is a lot of problem in the future, especially caused by global climate change. Because global climate change in every country, there is a lot of study that mention it, that there is huge issue associated with the vector-borne disease, not only dengue fever, but all the vector. And here is our publication. So this research contain a lot of variable, so I have to make it into part to part. We have published twice, and the last one, the 2 weeks ago, I just submitted into the another journal, and the title is similar with this I present today. And here is our team, myself as a principal, and then Rosa Kumalafatma from Indonesia too, from Legislature Primary Healthcare Facility, and I collaborate with Professor Jurgen Kurt from University of Bonn, Germany, and Fauzi Ella Mauri from University of Bonn, Germany too. And here is my acknowledgement. First of all, I would like to thank you to Bonn University that partially funding this research, and then FETP Indonesia partially funding too for this research, Ministry of Health Republic of Indonesia, Indonesian Meteorology, Climatology and Geophysics Agency, BPPK Ciloto, my faculty, Faculty of Public Health, University of Jember, and Legislature Primary Healthcare. And then here is our ongoing research. So from I plan to start the development of effect of base school participatory in Malaysia in 9th December, in Kinabalu, and then Indonesia in Jember. If you wanna come to join us, please welcome in 21st January 2025. And then in Philippines, we'll go to Manila in February, and Brunei Darussalam in April 2025. And the last one about life cycle, we still working on it, and then inviting veterinary expert, not public health expert only. So we will believe that we will finish it around May 2025. So thank you so much for your attention. It's very welcome to your question. And if there is any inquiry about the data, something like that, please let me know. If you want to collaborate me, it's very good to know that you can call me in this phone number and email. Thank you so much. Back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you very much for Mr. Kurnia. Give applause for nice and great presentation from Mr. Kurnia. And wow, if I'm not mistaken, it is your research based on doctoral degree.
Oh, my doctoral degree is about black lung disease in coal mining company, but this is the different project.
Different project. Oh wow, but okay, but from the presentation we already know, there is some factors or some variable that associated with the mortality of dengue fever in Indonesia. Like Mr. Kurnia said just before that the lack of a significant association between annual rainfall and dengue fever mortality. I think that's a really interesting finding, because I think in our society I always think that even we are in a rainfall, it can increase the mortality of dengue fever. Yeah, okay. It can give open our minded, yeah. And the second one, the association between temperature and dengue fever mortality. And you say that last year is the driest era, yeah?
Yeah, driest era in 14 years.
In 14 years.
Before,
and it can give a more impact for climate change, especially for the communicable disease.
Yes, especially for vector-borne disease.
Okay, thank you. And the last one, the significant association between annual dengue fever cases and mortality. And I think there is some sustainable, the next research from this research in some country.
A lot of.
Yeah. A lot of, okay. I'm really interesting to join.
Sure.
Yeah, even it's a collector data, yeah, like enumerator. The most important thing, I can go to Brunei Darussalam and subscribe.
Okay. Yeah,
Thank you. Okay, give applause once again for Mr. Kurnia. And we have to move in second session, ladies and gentlemen, and all participants. And I hope you still have a spirit to join with us until the end of this session or of this conference. Okay, maybe some participant can give or ask some question for Mr. Ray or Mr. Kurnia. Mr. Ray, still with us? Okay. Mr. Ray Francis. Maybe, ladies and gentlemen, you can raise your hand in my left side or right side, or you can chat in Zoom, maybe. You can type your question. Still have. Okay? Okay, one question from my right side. One, there, okay, two. Okay, three, Bu Dewi, and four. Okay, we have enough in our room, still waiting for some question maybe in Zoom. Okay, for the first opportunity, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ode. Okay, my name is Novi. Okay, I would like to ask to Mr. Ray. I have two questions. The first question, as you explained before in your presentation, to create or maintain sustainable food system is we have to involve many sectors. Maybe can you, is there any program of government or public sector in Filipina to support the sustainable food system? The second question is, as we know this era, the ultra-processed food consumption is increasing. Now, what do you think about it? Is it will be disturb or danger the sustainable food system, especially in agriculture? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bu Novi. Next one.
Thank you, Mr. Ode. My name is Hanif Murniatma. I will ask two questions for the first speaker and two questions for the second speakers.
Excuse me, what's your name?
Hanif Murniatma. Hanif Murniatma.
Okay.
First speaker. First question: how can sustainable practice reduce the risk of foodborne illness and contaminant in the food supply chains? And second question: how can consumer behavior influence the development of sustainable and safe food system?
Okay.
Can I repeat again?
Can you repeat it again, louder?
Okay.
Make it louder.
First question: how can sustainable practice reduce the risk of foodborne illness and contaminant in the food supply chains? Second question: how can consumer behavior influence the development of sustainable and safe food system?
Okay, we got it. Thank you.
Okay. Two questions for the second speaker.
Oh, okay, any more? Okay.
Please. Sorry, sir.
Never mind.
How has climate change influenced the epidemiology and mortality trends of dengue fever in Indonesia over the 50 years period from 2010 to 2023? And what are the potential mechanisms linking change in climate patterns such as temperature rainfall and humidity to transmission dynamic of dengue? Can I repeat again, sir?
We got it.
Thank
okay,
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hanif. The last one, Bu Dewi.
Okay, thank you for the time for me to give the question. Maybe I want to give the question for the second presentator, Mr. Kurnia. As your research and your plan about the breeding of the Aedes aegypti in dengue fever in Indonesia, you know that every years, especially in our city in Jember, always happen apa tuh mas? Yeah.
Outbreaks
cases, and you have the plan to make some social activity based on the school, I think. So what do you think about your plan? Because our challenge for the next is about how that we can includes of the community, based on the city community, because we know that our government have 3M program, 3M plus program, but they didn't solve the problem, I think. So there are a lot of cases, and the mortality of the dengue fever always high every year, especially in the city. So maybe how that we can do the specific strategy that include the community, to include to make the decreasing of the cases and the spread of the Aedes aegypti around our life. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bu Dewi, we got it for 4 questions for participant, and for the first opportunity we give for Mr. Ray Francis for answer the question. There are 2 questions I think for you, sir. Please.
Okay, thank you so much for that questions rather. So first question is on what are the different government agencies in the Philippines which would tackle, or that would encompass the sustainable food systems, right? So we have different government agencies. Agencies. Number 1 is the DOST, that is the Department of Science and Technology. They are in charge of looking into or conducting research regarding the food system. So one of which I've already mentioned DOST. So the DOST published a study, a recent study last February 2024, regarding the sustainability of the Philippine food system. So in that study, it has been revealed that there are some factors or variables that we lacked. For example, I can look into the study. So for example, when we look into the food nutrient adequacy, we scored low on that. So in that study, it also looks into nutrient balance scores, the ecosystem stability, affordability, availability, income equality, so on and so forth. So with this, DOST, or the Department of Science and Technology, is looking into ways on how we can implement programs that would target food systems. Another is on DA, or the Department of Agriculture. So the Philippines also has a Department of Agriculture which looks into the different programs for farmers. Not only for farmers, but also the produce that is being produced of the farmers. So we look into the supply, demand. We also look, DA will also look into the availability. We'll look into the resource allocation for that. And then we also, in looking into the social welfare side, we also have Department of Social Welfare and Development. So it would tackle the different communities that are affected when it comes to food security, when it comes to food availability. So, and then it is also being anchored through our Department of Health as well. So these sectors would help hand in hand so that it would tackle the food system problems. I would say it is a problem. It's because we have already identified different factors that we lacked when it comes to food systems. And then on your second question regarding the ultra-processed food items, does it disrupt food systems? So when we talk about ultra-processed food, these are food or products which has multiple ingredients and are processed into product. For example, let's say a piece of donut or a soda, or let's say ham, or canned meats, canned goods. So these are under ultra-processed food items. So when we look into ultra-processed food items, there are raw ingredients, raw materials used to create ultra-processed food. So when we look into ultra-processed food, we also, just like my example on bread, there are different ingredients to make bread. Just like soda, just like donuts, just like any piece of dessert or canned meats, it involves different ingredients, different preservatives, different additives which would be added into that product. So it does not really disrupt the food system, but the main question here is that how does it affect the environment, or how does it affect the individuals when it comes to public health and nutrition? So a lot of these ultra processed foods are actually high in sodium, high in sugars, high in trans fatty acids, which are known to be detrimental to health. So there is a direct impact when it comes to health, but then when it comes to food systems, their food system should still be in place for these products to be produced or to be made. But then so to relate this one to the fourth question regarding consumer behavior, so when we look into consumer behavior, so this is where the rise of ultra-processed food is being consumed. So in consumer behavior, there are a lot of factors that we need to look into. Consumer behavior when it comes to the things that we can see, that we can hear from social media, when it comes to media in itself, like TV, newspaper, and also printed materials. Also look into the influence of the people around, just like in different school settings, workplace, and also in different public spaces as well. So these are the things that we need to look into on the knowledge or the information that the consumers have been receiving, so that it would really affect how consumers are buying the food items that are available in the market. So that is why when we talk about food systems, when we talk about public health, we talk about nutrition, it's not just a one-dimensional thing where it can be solved right away with just one solution. It is multidimensional, meaning there are different factors that would affect consumer behavior, which would affect the food availability, which would affect how people would perceive food as it is. So that is why, when to answer regarding ultra processed food again, so it does not really disrupt the food system, but then how we inform the consumers when it comes to proper behavior, proper intake, and proper education when it comes to proper diets. Lastly, last question regarding sustainable food and also contamination, or to prevent foodborne illnesses. So one of within the food system is production and processing, and even transport and delivery. In all these aspects, proper food handling should be in place. So for example, one good example of which is when you produce a product, there should be batch numbers, there should be serial codes. Why? It's because when a food product is seen to be contaminated, is seen to be defective, it's easier for them to recall products. When you say recall, you pull off from the shelf, you get all those items from the market so that it would not be available to the consumers. So with this, in all the processes from production, processing, transport, and delivery, there should be proper food handling, so that we all know that when there is food contamination or there is foodborne illnesses, these are a public health concern. It's because there are a lot of factors that we need to consider, like for example, the different vulnerable groups. These are the immunocompromised individuals. So they are more prone to different complications. So within the food system, we need to look into the system and the process that is being in place, so that we can prevent foodborne illnesses. So not just within a bigger scale, but we need to relate that into a smaller scale. For example, when we do have conferences, when we do have events, we also need to look into how food is being handled, how food is being made, so that our target audience would not be affected or would not be affected by the food that they have been consumed. So hopefully that I have answered all the 4 questions that has been given to me, or any other further questions which relates to the different questions earlier.
Okay, I think that's a clear explanation, Mr. Francis, Ray Francis. What about the Ms. Novi? Is it clear? Ms. Hanif, is it clear? Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. And we have to move to Mr. Kurnia about the question. I think we got the question. Yeah. Please.
I write by my own self. Okay, thank you so much for the good question, both from Ms. Hanif and Deputy Dean Budewi, about how, if I wanna make some framework to explain how all the variable in my study, such as temperature, rainfall, you said humidity. Even I'm not added humidity in my study in this time, maybe later. We have a triangle epidemiology, right? Yeah. So if I have to make a framework, I will add it in the factor or agent. There is a lot of how to say, a lot of variable that can lead the factor, even it increases the factor capacity to do disease transmission to human or not. So in the triangle epidemiology, I will add it in agent part or factor part. There is a climate change, environment, something like that, the variable. And the sub-variable is temperature, rainfall, humidity, as you mentioned before. But if we would like to make a conceptual framework, we can say that environment and how to say, climate change, global climate change as mediator in this study. So it cannot directly increasing dengue fever, but it make life cycle, maybe, it's just my hypothesis and my team, increasing the capacity to do disease transmission to human. Yeah, that is how I can explain how all the variable can associate with my dependent variable. So maybe I answering your 2 questions, right, in one answer. And then the second one from Budewi about the strategy, community services. Thank you so much, Budewi. Actually, in 9 December 9, we will go to Kinabalu to do Kinabalu, Malaysia, Kalimantan part. So we will do research and also community service. So we have make like guideline for the child, primary school children. Because what? Because all the countries already have the strategy, but it's still dengue fever. It still come again, and more worse every day, every years. So we believe that if we do like a promotion into the children in the early age of their children, the behavior will be changed and we still use the strategy that every country have. In Indonesia, we have 3M+, but we also do strategy to make a good behavior for our children. So they will care and make increasing awareness for the children about climate change, about dengue fever, something like that. So yeah, 9 December, if it is hard to the people to go to Kinabalu with me, you can come with me in 21st December. We will do collaboration for country in Uluan. Yeah, we will do research and community services in around 2 or 3 primary school. Yeah, to increase the awareness from the children. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cornea, for the explanation and answer for the 2 questions. I think for the committee, still we have enough time to discussion. 5 minutes. Okay. There's some question for our speaker. Oh yeah, please. I think that's enough for 1 question, yeah, because we just still have 5 minutes. Please.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I'm Adisa from Public Health Faculty. Yeah. Pak Koko, since you study about the climate change and dengue fever, I just curious, how about in the non-endemic area? You study in Indonesia, right? So I'm just curious about the geographical shift. Yeah, maybe in endemic area it's already been there, the cases. How about in the non-endemic area? Is there any difference? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, just enough your question, Ms. Adista. Okay, Ms. Adista, we already know she is an epidemiologist, so maybe this question is related with his competency, her competency. Okay, there's a difference between non-endemic area and academic area based on your study, Mr. Cornea, please.
Yeah, actually I hesitate to answering you because you are the expert one. So in this study, we also have another variable I don't mention it in this study because I just, only several part into one study, something like that. So about your idea how the cases in pandemic and non-pandemic, endemic of dengue fever. Yeah, that's good. Endemic is quite high. Yeah, since I mentioned earlier that several provinces are endemic, and there is a lot of cases even in the dry season. Especially if we talk about dengue fever. Dengue fever is usually come from the highest one in Indonesia. It's come from area or province that very hard to get to clean water access. So there is a pandemic in this study. But how about in pandemic, non-pandemic, non-endemic area? Yeah, in non-endemic area, even only 1 cases, we also have an outbreak in Indonesia, right? KLB kita sebut. So even we have only 1 in the, maybe we call it puskesmas or kecamatan or village or desa, something like that. The prevent, the control of this disease is totally same. But if we look at every province, yeah, the sequence, it will be increasing not only in pandemic area, but also in non-pandemic area. It's quite same because climate change is not only for in the rural area, in endemic area, but it's across the, as I mentioned before, across the equator line, or we call it Khatulistiwa. So there is no association maybe I don't know how, when I can publish it. So in this study in Indonesia, there is an not association between non-endemic and endemic area of dengue fever with mortality rate. Because right now we have same burden even in rural and city area. Yeah, that's from my study finding.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kurnia. What about Mrs. Is it clear? One finding or one lesson from the study, yeah? So the endemic area or non-endemic area is not associated with the dengue fever mortality in Indonesia. Or maybe we have a need more research?
Yeah, okay, thank you. Maybe we can talk later.
Okay, we'll talk later in the Public Health Agro-Coastal next year, yeah? Okay, that's enough. I think because we have limited by the time, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the end of our session. So as a moderator, I don't have a capacity to conclude our session, especially in this session, because I think everyone already have their conclusion, yeah, about the sustainable food system. And the second one is about the dengue fever mortality based on the findings or the research from Mr. Kurnia. Okay, maybe we can give applause for all of us here for still stay, yeah, until the end of the session. But maybe before I back to Master of Ceremony, maybe there is a closing statement, Mr. Ray Francis. There's any statement that you can give for us as a closing statement, please?
Yeah, so when it comes to sustainable food systems, so there should be, it's not enough that we just, when we conduct different research regarding food systems, it's not just enough that we put that data into a mere paper. So we need to inform the public, we need to inform our government, we need to inform our different policymakers so that we can also make a change, even small changes when it comes to food security, when it comes to nutrition, and when it comes to overall health of our population. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Give applause for Mr. Ray Francis. Thank you. We're really honored to have you here, sir, and best regard for our college in San Carlos University, sir. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Kurnia, it's your time for closing statement.
Yeah, actually, nowadays we have a lot of problem in public health, but we cannot solve by only focusing in the health system. But we have to make a comprehensive comprehensive view, not only looking for the health system, health strategy, but we have to move forward, think about global climate change, environmental change in our life. So we can solve it using holistic map for this issue.
Okay,
thank
you. Thank you, Mr. Kurnia. Give applause for Mr. Kurnia. I think there are so many our homework, yeah, to give or to solve the problem about the global problem itself. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to our distinguished speaker, Mr. Ray Francis and Mr. Kurnia. And thank you for your time and your kindness to share knowledge and experience to us in this session and in this great event. And thank you very much for all participants here. Give applause for all of us here once again to still stay until the end of the session. We do hope that this conference will provide us more information and understanding about the global awareness on environment health. Stay healthy, everyone. See you on the next Public Health Agro-Coastal Community International Conference next year. Thank you and have a nice day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Best gratitude has been said to the splendid speaker, Mr. Ray Francis Erana, who have agreed to join this event. The certificate will be displayed on the screen. And also best gratitude has been said to Mr. Kurnia Ardiansyah Akbar, SKM MK3 PhD, who is by already an amazing speaker. And best gratitude has been said to the moderator, Mr. Taufan Asher Syaude, SKM MKes. There is a certificate that handed out by the chairman of the committee and the dean of the Faculty of Public Health, University of Jember. Without further ado, we invite Dr. Novia Lutfiatin, SKM MKes, and Dr. Farida Wahyuningtyas, SKM MKes, to come on stage. Alright, for Dr. Farida Wahyunitas SKMMKes, please to give the certificate by online and giving the speech to the first speaker, Mr. Ray Francis Erana.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Erana. Thanks advance to you for the participation in this event and sharing with us about the sustainable agro-coastal food, sustainable food in Agro-Coastal. Thank you. I hope we can increase our collaboration in the future. Thank you very much.
Alright, before we moving on, there will be the documentation. For the committee that is in charge, please arrange the position. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. The next is giving the certificate and giving the speech to the second speaker, Mr. Kurnia Ardiansyah Akbar, SKM MK3 PhD. Before we moving on, there will be the documentation. For the committee that is in charge, please arrange the position. Alright, for Dr. Novia Lutfiatin SKM MKes, please to give the certificate to the moderator. Best gratitude has been said for the speaker. The Dean of the Faculty of Public Health, the Chairman of the Committee, and the Moderator are pleased to return to their seats.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we move into the next agenda, allow me to inform you that there is an evaluation link that you can fill in. Please for the committee to display the link on the screen. Alright, we have come to the end of International Conference Season, Public Health Agro-Coastal Community Conference 2024. After this, we will continue to the next season, the oral presentation season on Zoom. Furthermore, presenters are expected to enter the Zoom at 1 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, for oral presentation participant or other participant who want to see the oral presentation session, please enjoy the lunch break until 1 p.m. Then we will continue to the next agenda, namely the oral presentation session on Zoom that using the same link. Before we continue, I'd like to inform you that all consumption and merchandise are available for pick-up at the registration desk. Alright, we've come to the final session of the International Conference session. We want to say thank you to the contributing party, sponsor, lecturer, and the committee, and all these distinguished guests for your contribution, participation, and support. I am Muhammad Rafli Jatnika and my partner,
Putri Safina Dei.
As master of ceremony today, representing all of the committee here, would like to say thank you once again for your attendance here today, and would like to say our sincere apologies if there is any mistake that had been made from the start to the end of this event. Thank you and
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.